Riots broke out in Dhaka and other places soon after Constitutional Council ruled that the 85-year-old president can seek re-election. We have more in this piece.
A ceremony to inaugurate a car inspection center in Dakar, Senegal, was turned into an impromptu press conference with President Abdoulaye Wade and journalists. President Wade pledged to uphold law and order during the electoral campaign, which will begin in 2 days. I am responsible for the order and security of citizens in this country, and I have the means to assure order and security, and that will be the case during the electoral campaign until the results of the elections are announced. No one can say anything to the contrary. The Senegalese president took advantage to react to comments by some Western leaders who said they would like there to be a generational change in leaders in the upcoming elections. It's a deputy U.S. Secretary of State who spoke. This man is only a deputy state secretary. I'm not going to respond to him. If Mr. Sarkozy speaks, I will answer him. But for the moment, the answer given by my ministers will suffice. The comments by the Senegalese president occurred at the same time as the opposition staged a day of prayer in the memory of victims of the latest violence. This gathering is taking place in the center of the city, close to the presidential palace.
Authorities in Mali are going through challenging moments. This after the Malian army declared that it was ill-prepared to face Tuareg rebels bent on destabilizing the country. Malian activists are not taking the matter lightly. They are accusing the army of reneging on their promise to tackle the rebels. Let's look at this report for more on that.
A lot of anger in Mali these days as rumors spread that the Malian army is badly prepared to face the rebels, that this is why many of them are losing their lives on the battlefield. The rebels are cutting our children's throats, says this demonstrator. He accuses the Malian head of state of making the rebels' task easier by sending them ammunition. President Amadou Toumani Touré tries to calm things down. On Thursday, he received a delegation of wives of soldiers who are on the front lines. He told the women that he would do everything he could to increase the army's capacity to defeat the Tuareg rebels. We want our children to have the weapons and the ammunition to fight. We don't want them to be hungry or thirsty, that's all. If all this is taken care of, then death can come. Only God can decide that. The collective of communities from northern Mali is worried about the course of events. It's launching a call for talks between the warring parties. For the time being, we're asking them to engage in dialogue. We want not only the government, but also those who started the hostilities. The Malian capital was calm on Friday. Many Tuaregs living in Bamako are taking their cars and fleeing the city, but others refuse to give in. A call for peace and calm was issued in all the mosques on Friday.
The war of words between Argentina and the United Kingdom over the disputed Falkland Islands has moved to a new stage. Tensions were heightened by the recent commencement of a 6-week tour of duty on the islands by Prince William II in line to the British throne. We have details in this report.
A dramatic row between Argentina and Great Britain over the sovereignty of the Falkland Islands, known in Argentina as the Malvinas, has exploded in public protest. On Thursday in Bolivia, thousands of left-wing demonstrators vandalized several British banks. In the last weeks, Argentina has sought support for its claim to the Falklands, a British territory since 1833. In Argentina, the human rights group, the Mothers of the Plaza de Mayo, added their voices to the din. We are fighting for peace and for the return of the Malvinas, but in the right way. As our president says, it must be through discussion, and if we can, we should let all countries know that we need their help. Tensions reached a new pitch this week following the arrival in the Falklands of Prince William, who will serve a 6-week tour of duty as pilot with the Royal Air Force. On Tuesday, the British Navy announced that it had dispatched a new ultra-modern destroyer to the Falklands. Argentina has accused Great Britain of provocation weeks before the 30th anniversary of the Falklands War, in which 650 Argentines and 250 British died. The cause has been taken up by other Latin American countries. Yesterday, the president of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, expressed support for Argentina. The old, dilapidated empire better not think that Argentina is alone, as it was 30 years ago. South America is here, Latin America is here. Venezuela is the most vocal of Latin American countries in its support of Argentina. However, Great Britain has rejected a proposed law to ensure British sovereignty of the islands, saying that their 3,000 residents could choose for themselves.
We'll take another break. We'll be back. Welcome back. The Gambia national female team Friday afternoon flew out of Banjul for Freetown, Sierra Leone. The team is expected to take on the Sierra Leone under-17 side in the second leg fixture of the first round of the World Under-17 qualifiers. The Gambian side will be defending a hefty first leg 3-0 lead. Sierra Leone will be aiming to overturn that first leg defeat in Freetown. This is the Gambia's maiden participation in international competition in the female category, and football authorities are confident of a fruitful participation. The match is expected to be played in the Sierra Leonean town of Makene today, and the team due back in Banjul on Wednesday. Well, before we go, a quick reminder of our headlines. The Vice President and Women's Affairs Minister, Dr. Aissatou Njie Sedi, and 3 other ministers have retained their cabinet positions. A $12 million seawater and sanitation project meant for 12 Fonyi settlements has taken off the ground. Senegalese President Abdoulaye Wade is striving to calm jittery nerves against the backdrop of riots by opponents of his third-term bid. And the Malian army has said that it is not equipped enough to scare with heavily armed Tuareg rebels accused of carrying out a spate of attacks. You're reminded that you can follow those stories and other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. That does it for this edition of our Midday News. Thanks for the pleasure of company, and do stay tuned to GRTS and enjoy the rest of our interesting programs. From me, Farmer of Fafana. Bye-bye.
Go discover the smiling coast of Africa. Go discover the smiling coast